Alright, before we get started with the video, we need to take a look at the magnificence that is this shirt right here. In my personal opinion, it's one of Junji Ito's masterpieces. Hello all of my otaku friends, my name is Profitaku, and welcome back to my channel for my February 2024 manga reading log. A short stack of manga read this month, only 28 volumes, but what I did read, I thoroughly enjoyed. Lots of different new series to talk about and put on y'all's radar, so stay tuned. To start the video off, the majority of my month was spent reading one series, Tokyo Revengers. I read the next 4 omnibuses of the series, volumes 11 to 18. So this finishes the Christmas Showdown arc and goes into the next arcs. And what do I have to say about Tokyo Revengers? This series is absolutely blowing me away. The character development in these 4 omnibuses and the turmoil and the drama and the darkness that is starting to seep into this seemingly fun and comedic story at first, but then it just starts getting twisted and more messed up, and these characters start getting more and more dark, and it's just like you're sitting back and going, oh my god, what is about to happen next? I love all the new characters that were presented in these 4 omnibuses, and with the addition of these new characters and with the pacing, the only caveat that I have with the series is that it's so fast paced and there's so many connections between characters, it's kind of hard to follow sometimes, so you kind of have to keep up, and if you do, you're going to be rewarded, but if you're not, you might be a little bit confused. There were several moments in these 4 omnibuses where my jaw just dropped, something I just would not see coming out of left field, and that's what I love about Tokyo Revengers, and that's why I can't wait for the next omnibus to come out. Next, to finish off my indie manga reading session, I read the last 2 volumes of my indie manga haul. This is a short story collection done by several different creators. This is Glaeolia, Volume 1. It's a part of a 3-volume collection currently, and what do I have to say about this? I thought that it was just a swing and a miss. I really didn't enjoy any of the stories in this short story collection. I thought they were boring. I thought that the messages were very convoluted. I thought that the stories did not pace themselves well, and I thought that just the stories themselves were very boring. Some of the artwork was okay, some of it was really quite interesting, but thoroughly I was disappointed with this because I thought this was going to be something really, really special, and I was going to be able to dive into a bunch of different creators, but in turn, all these creators just disappointed me. So yeah, this is one I would avoid. On the contrary, if you are looking for an indie short story collection done by one creator, check out this one. This is Pandora by Glacier Bay Books in this beautiful, beautiful release. The mangaka for this is Rei Hagawara, and they do really, really creative and interesting things, especially with the artwork. I love the watercolor style. I love the full color that's going on here, and it's just a really, really enjoyable read. This short story collection dives into loss and grief and going through these different emotions as you're going through the grieving process through several different short stories, and I love the mangaka's messaging in this, and it allowed me to really think about my own personal journey through loss. I was really excited and very, very glad to read their work, and I really want to try more of their stuff out, so I will be on the lookout. Moving on to Viz Media, we have 2 continuations of series, Volume 7 of Rainbow Days. I like this volume a lot. We are moving into some development of our female characters, which is great, kind of flip-flopping from our male MCs, but this series is right in the thick of it. We're smack dab in the middle of the series, and it's continuing to do just fine in terms of its progression, so one I'm still enjoying and one I still recommend. Lastly, a penultimate volume here from Viz Media, Omnibus 8, Volumes 15 and 16 of Alice in Borderland. This series is ramping up to have an amazing finish. I am loving the death games that are present in every single volume. I am loving all the info dumping about this world and what our characters are going to have to decide into the final kind of moments of this series. It is ramping up to be something really, really special. I'm really going to miss this series when it ends. I don't want it to end. I would love for this series to be 40, 50 volumes, and I never say that, but I enjoy every omnibus that I read, and one that you definitely need to pick up. Moving on to some Kodansha vertical titles. First up, we have Yuzu the Pet Vet. I finished the series, so I read volumes 5, 6, and 7. The series has concluded here in terms of the English release. We didn't get any more after this. However, this is just the completion of the first arc, the elementary school arc. So will we get any more of this? I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen anything about the middle school arc, so it's not conclusive or anything like that. But I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I loved all the different episodes. I loved the educational aspect, learning about animals and pet care and disabilities and how animals work with the disabilities, but then also the emotional side of animal loss and going through the grieving process. A great all-age manga for any person to enjoy. Next up here is volume 4 of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-Kun, and I thought this was just okay. It kind of took the wind out of my sails. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up any more of this. I mean, I want to, but I don't really want to. I'm starting to see some stereotypical writing in here, and I'm just looking for something different. We have a stereotypical arc with the culture festival. We have some stereotypically written characters, and the way that the arcs kind of wrap itself up seem very stereotypical as well, and I'm just looking for something more in my manga reading. So I don't know, somebody needs to tell me down in the comments if this is something I need to keep going with. The next series that I read is a new series, volume 1 and 2 of The Moon on a Rainy Night. This comes with high accolades, and for good reason. It was a thoroughly enjoyable read. The series follows this girl right here. She is hard of hearing, and this girl right here who can hear just fine, and it's them navigating life together in high school as she's just trying to navigate being hard of hearing and what she wants out of her teachers and out of her friendship, and then also just the stereotypes around people who are hard of hearing and the bullying that happens. I love how educational this is. It really kind of put me into the main character's shoes. What do they have to deal with on a daily basis, especially on the emotional side of things and how they just want to be accepted? And I'm really loving the story and how it revolves around music. They're both musicians in their own right, and so it's really cool to see that aspect of the story play out. I feel like the actual Yuri side of it is a little bit weird and it seems a little kind of shoved down your throat, so I am curious to see how this kind of develops over the rest of the series, but nonetheless I still think that it's a series to pick up. Last but not least, from Kodansha, we have another new series, King and Limbo Omnibus volumes 1 and 2, and I really enjoyed this Josei series. This one kind of hits close to home. It's in a pandemic setting. There is a disease known as the sleep. If you're infected with the sleep, you go to sleep and you never wake up. This disease is eradicated. Fast forward 8 years, the disease is back, and it's up to these two characters to stop this disease and this new variant from spreading. It's really interesting. If you like Christopher Nolan's Inception, if you like Psycho Pass, then this is going to be the series for you. It is a 6-volume series, so we're only going to get 3 of these omnibuses. I am really curious to see how the pacing of this manga is going to work, because I feel like in this first omnibus, we're just scratching the surface of what this series could actually be. But nonetheless, I am intrigued with the characters. I'm intrigued with the story. I thought that it was paced well, and the world building was exceptional. I understood everything that was going on, so it's one that I recommend thoroughly. And last but not least, we have several titles from Yen Press to go over. As always, thanks so much to Yen Press, Callista, and the team for continuing to support the channel and sending me manga on their behalf to review on this channel so that I can put some new things on y'all's radar. First off is Akko and Bambi. This is from the same creator as Horimiya, and it follows our main character here, who is a web novel writer. He moves into this apartment that is haunted by this girl ghost, and it's their relationship as he starts to write a supernatural story based off of her. I don't know, I just thought this one was kind of weird. I wasn't really invested into the characters whatsoever. There is a twist in this volume that really wasn't explained too well. It was just kind of thrown upon you, and it was up for you to kind of put the pieces together, and I didn't really like that aspect of it. And I don't really like the 4-coma aspect of this either. I really feel like it doesn't flow well. So a mediocre first volume. I'm curious to see where it goes, but this one's on the chopping block. Now, a new series I thoroughly enjoyed is volume 1 of the manga adaptation of Bride of the Barrier Master. I really don't want to talk about the synopsis of this series because it's going to kind of spoil a lot of things. just know that this girl right here is presented as a girl that does not have any powers in this very prestigious family, and things happen. I love the world building of this, and I love the world in general. You've got these barrier masters, 5 different families who are in charge of creating this protective barrier to protect the land, and I think it's very well done and very well illustrated in this first volume. Our main character female is absolutely hilarious, a great main character, and I can't wait to see how she develops. She's just really cool, and if you love like Apothecary Diaries, then this is going to be right up your alley in terms of that main character. Here is a one-shot. We have Taking Care of God, and it follows these alien spaceships who cover Earth one day, and then one day in the future these aliens come down into Earth, but they're all elderly citizens, and it's up to the citizens of Earth to take care of these senior citizen aliens. I think that this one shot is worth a read. I think it's a really interesting sci-fi read. I understand the messaging that it's trying to get across in terms of senior citizens and kind of this idea of refugees and taking in refugees and the struggles that governments have kind of controlling that aspect of our society. But with that being said, I felt like there was so much more that could have been done with the characters. It was just hitting that baseline, which I understand with one-shots that's to be the case, but I felt like it spread itself a little too thin, but it is worth a read. I really do think you should pick it up. Next up is one of my favorite rom-com series being published right now, Cheerful Amnesia Volume 2. It follows this girl who has amnesia, and she's trying to rebuild her life and rebuild her relationship with this girl here on the cover, but they've been in a relationship for quite a while. It's super wholesome, it's super cute. I love the different episodes. I love the shtick of amnesia. I think it's done very well, and this is one that I cannot recommend enough. It's a very short series as well, so I think that this is going to be a rom-com series that could possibly be in my top 5, top 7, top 10 rom-coms of all time. There is a disappointing volume 1, kind of forgettable to be honest with you, Witch Life in a Micro Room. It follows this modern world setting where witches are actually becoming more and more popular in this modern world, and it just follows these 2 witches as they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're kind of presented as idol figures, kinda. I like the shtick. I think the art is cute enough. I just thought the episodes were really boring, and I feel like the main characters themselves just could have had so much more to offer in this first volume. I see the potential here, and I really do want to like it, but I feel like it's just not interesting enough of a story in this first volume for me to be like, oh my gosh, like I just cannot recommend this enough. If you like cute, fluffy, slice of life things, then yeah, pick this one up. If you're not, then this is probably not going to be the one for you. A series here that I cannot stop singing high praises about, So What's Wrong with Getting Reborn as a Goblin Volume 4. And this series, you just have to pick it up. Okay, I get it, it's an isekai. It's got like a 6.95 on my anime list, but come on. I mean, it is just really well written, from the main character being super interesting to the developments we get in this world in volume 4, some really cool elements being presented, and also just the power system and how it works. I just think it's so well done and one that you need to read. And last but not least, we have the Yuri Harem series, I Don't Know Which Is Love Volume 2. This one is definitely on the chopping block. I feel like this is going to start turning into a series where it's just all these different relationships and they're so bare bones. I'm thinking stuff like We Never Learn and something like that, where it's just these episodic, kind of repetitive, boring episodes, and I just don't want to read something like that. I wanted this to be something like Quintessential Quintuplets, for example, a really interesting and deep storyline, but this is starting to feel really shallow. For those of you who don't know the story, it follows a girl who had her heart broken in high school. She goes to college hoping to meet a girl and start a relationship, but unbeknownst to her, she starts meeting a bunch of different girls who all want to be in a relationship with her. So yeah, kind of a twist and a play there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I felt like this had a really good start, but man, the second volume just wasn't that great. And that is it for my manga reading log for the month of February. March is shaping up to be something really special. I have already read some amazing things that I'm super excited to talk about, so stay tuned for that video next month. As always, if you enjoyed the content of my videos, make sure you hit that like button, tap the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you know when more of my videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.